Hey everybody, welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3. I'm Sam, joined by my colleague Morgan, and we have a couple of very special guests with us today to talk about new Super Lucky's Tale. Over here we have Dan and Taylor from Playful Studios.
Hello.
Dan,
Hi.
the game director, and Taylor, one of the artists. And thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a little bit of an extra look at this game.
It's our pleasure. We
you.
absolutely love getting any chance to show Lucky to a new audience. I love it.
And where would you like to kick us off here? What are you thinking?
Well, we brought a completely brand new level, never before seen. So we really wanted to show something unique for Treehouse Live.
Awesome.
Cool opportunity. So we brought a level that is set in the world of Veggie Village, populated by these crazy wormhole characters. They're real country folk, but they love a good concert. And so in this level, it's a Harvest Jam. And so they do this every year. And it's a celebration of the harvest. And they're about to do the concert. However, something has gone wrong, and all the performers are missing. And so we want to show what this level is like. It's a playground-style level, so there's a lot of things to go explore and do and find and collect, as well as many different ways to play. So logic and reaction, things like that. So
I love it. I'm seeing some
what we
carrots here. I'm ready for vegetables.
Yeah,
I got this little
carrots.
owl hopping around on the. I love it. He's just waiting for us.
Yeah, he's a we call him Pill Owl. He's just a little sphere, a little just squeezable little shape. And,
Lump of outlet goodness.
he's super cute. Yeah, we love him. So
All right.
I'm ready to get started here. And this level is called the Soggy Boggy Boys, and that's who you're rescuing from their own misfortune, really.
So as we get started here, can we start off by just giving folks a little bit of a look at Lucky's moveset? Because he's got some
Sure.
really cool abilities and moves that you set up here.
Right, so one of the things we really wanted to focus on was Lucky as he controlled as a character. We wanted to see just how tight and how responsive we could get him. And so we've added a lot of things in here to emphasize flow. Like, we didn't really want to break up your experience ever. So if you'll notice, he's got a jump, a double jump. He has a hover slightly with his tail swipe. And that combos really well into burrow. He has a 1-2-3 with his tail. Hi, 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 and he's really, really a joy to control. And one of the things that his dive is especially good at is seeking out enemies. So one of the things that's actually pretty difficult in 3D platformers is finding, like, jumping on the heads of things and seeing that in space. And so we wanted to build kind of this very organic, natural, flowy feeling moveset that helped you without feeling like it's taking control from you. So an example of that is just jumping, and you can burrow dive right on interactables and enemies and things like that. And I mentioned before, playground. We call this game a playground platformer. So that means it just has a lot of little things to go investigate and fun and find and collect. So this is a little time trial run. It appears in a lot of our levels.
Yeah, I know how this works. I see blinking collectibles. I know what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta go.
There's a time limit. Hurry! And so, you know, not everyone's going to find this, but we give you little hints, and I got it. So I got one of 4 possible pages in the level. So you can just blaze if you want, get right through it and beat the level and get 1 page for that.
We just saw that burrow when you do it out of midair. He like twirls. His whole body twirls.
Oh, yeah.
I love that detail.
And it combos really well into his slide. It just feels good to control Lucky, and that is so important to the team, just and us to get it right, because you're going to be spending a lot of time with him, and we don't want that to be a feeling of frustration. We want it to be a feeling of joy. So we call this like land dolphining, or just being able to like go in and out of burrow and experience that over. And then there's plenty of things to get out of burrow. You can use it to bust up crates and things like that. It's a lot of fun. And so we're entering into a space here, which is the market. And so all the all the wormholes here are here ready to talk to you about the upcoming festival. And one of the nice things we have done with this level is it is tradition when you have a Harvest Jam to speak as a wormhole almost entirely in pun. And so we have crammed as many puns as humanly and wormily possible into this game, specifically into this level. And so everyone's having a really good time, but I mean, you should really like count them. There are like too many puns.
I saw a turnip one. I think I saw lettuce. I saw berry.
It is pun insane, which is what we want. I mean,
Right.
this is,
Oh, there's another one.
yeah, I
Romaine.
mean, it's what we want. And it just, this is their harvest festival. There's a time when they all get to do that.
So here we have the sheriff formal who's telling you that they have a problem finding the Soggy Boggy Boys, and he needs you to go search out for him and bring them back over to the stage so they can finally get on with their harvest concert. So he goes ahead and opens the door up to the barn over on the side over there, suspecting that's maybe where the first Wormel Soggy Boggy Boy is.
Exactly.
So what's chatting about here? Right now, we got to put our Wormel concert back together, but that is not the entirety of New Super Lucky Tale. We should probably touch a little bit on what's going on in the story, because Lucky is a young fox who's gotten himself into quite a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, so Lucky is actually trapped in this level, but also in the game, in a magical book called the Book of Ages. And we have a lot of lore and story about that to kind of introduce it, but in essence, it's a magical book that has a lot of infinite pages with infinite worlds in them. And so you actually get to experience many of those worlds in New Super Lucky's Tale. And when you go in, your goal to get back out to the real world is to collect as many pages as possible and break the lock and ultimately defeat the bad guy Jinx and his kitty litter, who are there, his kids. They're a bunch of nefarious cats. They're there to keep you, and they're also trying to collect those pages to harness their magical power. And so you're traveling through, you're helping people, but ultimately you're also trying to get back home.
Right. And over in this section over here, this little girl was telling you that one of the Soggy Boggy Boys was trapped up in that barrel up there by the angry farmer Wormel. We saw him trespassing in his farm area. So you're going to have to use your strategy of burrow and just sneaking around over here in order to try to worm your way up to the top over there.
Nice.
I had
It is
to
the
do
Harvest Festival, so you were doing what you need to be doing here.
Farmers are always so protective of their crops.
They are.
They are. So one of the things about this is, as you can see, the bouncing behavior is actually pretty cool, and we use it all the time in the game. But in this particular place, if you bounce while you're trying to be staying burrowed and hidden from the farmer, it actually resets you to a checkpoint. So normally a cool thing that you use to get over walls and to find collectibles, but here it's actually a kind of a hazard. So it's a fun way to repurpose and kind of explore all the different possibilities with an interactive
Yeah, and those coins didn't look that different from the little stem. So
Yeah,
it's
if you
kind
go
of
fast,
like,
it can catch you.
Yeah, there's a little bit of trickery here. You have to pay attention, and we give you a tiny bit of heads up, but honestly, I've gotten tripped up on so many times. I'm like, oh, I'm not paying attention. I'm trying to dial it in, and the tomatoes will get me.
So in this tomato-based stealth mission, it's actually a great opportunity to talk a little bit about the camera changes you made, because the camera system is quite different from what you had that you were working with before.
Totally. One of, I think, our biggest goals was to give as much control to the player as possible. So we basically made our own 3D camera solution. It has all the bells and whistles you would want, but also we didn't want to. A lot of our players play without really moving the camera that much, and I think that's probably true for a lot of 3D platformers. So we wanted to not just provide a 3D camera and be like, great, hope you do something nice with it, but really we wanted to give players full control all times, but hints. So like a good example is here, I did not do that. Like that's actually, we know that to get out of this shed, you're going to be facing this direction. And so we have these hints that while they're completely overwritable, like, I mean, you can take control anytime you want, they're basically showing you what you need to see when you need to see it. This entire section, in fact, is covered by hints, so I'm not controlling the camera right now. The game is helping me navigate that, so that way I can just focus on moving Lucky, and I can focus on moving the Wormels or meeting the Wormels and things like this, and then I have full control whenever I want it, and I can move it how I like.
Oh, there's a little collectible hiding down there. Wait a second.
You noticed it. See, how many times have I played this level? But there it is. So I mentioned this before, but I feel like so much of my game development career has led to this moment where we were able to dress up a worm like Bret Michaels and have him do have him do a concert, and he's about to launch into his solo, which is a jug solo, which I've always wanted to put into a game, and here it is.
Yes.
So we'll get to watch that.
Hope you like a bottom.
Hey everybody, welcome back, and sorry about that. The power just dropped for a second in the entire hall that we're in, so we're back, everything's still up and running, and we're going to jump right back into the gameplay where we left off. And we just saw an adorable little jug solo from one of the wormholes. I wanted to ask you, Taylor, about the art direction for this, because it's got to be so interesting. This game has so many different settings, so many environments. People maybe had a chance to check that out with the trailer that we released, all the variety, but it's got to just be so fun getting to create art for a game like this.
Oh, it is, yeah. The team gets really enthusiastic about the characters, so it's really fun trying to put some concepts out there and see what's biting, what's making people laugh, or what they think is funny, and I'm like, oh, this is probably in the right direction we want to go for that. With the worms in particular, they proved a bit challenging for other departments like the animators, because a lot of the characters that I've made for this are kind of stumpy in a lot of ways. Like their limbs are too really, they're really short, or their mouths are too big, like on the giant fish and everything. And they're like, how are we supposed to express this? But the great part is they've come up with so many really great ways to kind of nudge that in the right direction. And just, it's so funny seeing stuff on our chats and everything at work, because we'll get updates on like the animations that they're doing for it, and we're just like, oh, did you see that? Did you see that? And you just hear like laughter erupting, like a fire going out through the studio. So
well, even during that jug solo, which took out the power.
Yeah,
it is the most powerful. We cranked it to 11 and we paid a price.
That was the animators.
He could barely hold his jug with his little like arms, but he had it. He had it.
There is a certain suspension of disbelief when you have a fox running on 2 legs. So they can hold the jug.
They can. And I mean, they've farmed everything with those nubs too, so they've figured it out somehow.
They've built themselves a successful society.
They have.
And on that topic, I suppose, just to talk about some of the other characters as we head into our next little area here, folks who had a chance to check out the trailer saw that there's quite an interesting variety of allies, enemies, some interesting folks that you're going to meet along the way.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different characters we're going to meet. Real quick, while we're here, I want to just intro this space. This is the washing station. So as part of the Harvest Jam, you got to wash all your fruits and veggies. You can't eat them without washing them. And so this is the entire station that they've hooked up to do that. This is where you're going to find Bert, who is part of the band, but he is looking for the rest of his fireflies, which are his backup dancers / stage effects. And so you got to help him collect them all. And this is a very free-form space. You can approach the goal in a lot of different ways. I wanted to showcase that seeking behavior I was talking about before. So you can really kind of extend. You can deal with enemies in a lot of different ways. Lucky has a kick. You can but it makes it a lot easier just to jump and interact with them. And his tail swipe stuns them very easily. So it's a fun way to connect with all the different characters. And then especially sections like this, you can use dive to great effect. So sorry, you want to go ahead?
Oh, sorry. With each of these sections that we're going to be showing you, the wings where all of these Soggy Boggy boys are, is they're really trying to help you kind of hone in your skills as far as those skill sets go. Like here, you got a lot of platforming experiences that you're trying to navigate through, which is really helpful. And in the previous section, it was all about trying to perfect your skills with the burrow dive and navigation within that. So it's really nice to kind of see a breadth of those mechanics being used here skillfully.
That's right. I mean, and this level, I think, shows that just really well. Each one challenges a different aspect of what you're trying to get done, and a lot of this is reflected in the game as a whole. This is the washing part here. Like all these things are just dunked over and over again until they get squeaky clean. But it's also a fun platforming challenge as well.
Yeah, I love that connection, the thoughtfulness between platform. We're used to moving platforms, things like this, rotating platforms or platformer, but they have this really cool. It builds out the game world like it's a fruit washing station. No. So there's that thoughtfulness between level design and building out that world and giving this sort of really neat, story.
Yeah, it's right.
It's just design.
It's like painfully charming. We've already seen some great examples of the writing. It's just really fun. It's really lighthearted. It's almost like playing in a giant storybook. Awesome.
Good. Never mind. Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's get back into it. They gave me one message to pause because it.
We're good? All right.
All right, we are good.
this level in particular was one of the ones that we just completely rebuilt from the ground up. And before, it was like a really cute space, beautifully lit. But during the process of making this game, we had so many instances where we were like thinking, wow, wouldn't it be cool? What if we can do this? And we had so much great feedback from fans and then reviews that were coming in, and it just really ignited a fire in us to maybe we should take a leap and just invest in what if we kind of refine this mechanic? What if we add in 360 camera in here? How much better would that feel? And you know, we started adding a little bit in, and then at some point we were just like, well, what if we just funded this and put in the time to really just sink into this IP that we really love so much, and we just get so excited to hear from fans that they're interested in this type of game, they want to see more of this stuff, and so we're like, cool, let's just do it, take the leap and do it. So when we were starting to work on this one, it just exploded, like the original map that we had for it.
This whole thing is a labor of love.
Yes.
I mean, we wanted to see how much we could cram in here. The new is not just a title. It represents exactly what we're trying to get done with this game. Is we wanted Lucky to be as controllable and as delightful as possible. We wanted the adventure to feel fresh and challenging. We wanted the enemies, the way they reacted to you. We wanted the story. Every one of those pieces, we wanted it to feel like just a breath of fresh air and tons of fun.
Right.
And this is one of the brand new levels. Oh no! That kind of helps showcase, I think, that attention to joy and detail.
I think that really comes through so well.
It really is the definitive version of the Lucky's Tale stuff.
It really is.
Yeah. It's all the cinematics and writing and everything. It's got all of that.
So we've helped Bert collect all his fireflies, and he's waiting for us to turn it all back in. So let's go check him out.
I don't even know how he got his hat on his head. His
I
little
know.
arms keep reaching, but it's so cute.
I think I like to imagine that there's just like a hook on the wall, and he just kind of like
Just
raises
jumps
himself
up.
into it. It's kind of like Willy Wonka-ish.
Their language is so cute, too. Just a bunch of gibberish.
No, they makes perfect sense.
That unsure smile and the kind of creeping up into it.
His hat like doesn't quite fit down on his head, so it wobbles back and forth as he jams. Those little details are really, really charming.
All right, so Sheriff is leading up to where we're going. We're going to this next section here, which is, so we've done a lot of reaction, and we've done kind of some just general platforming, and this is a logic puzzle. So many different levels feature different ways to play. This one has quite a few different ones, but in this one we're tasked with getting backstage, and to get backstage we need to find the key. The difference about the key is that it's super heavy, so I actually can't jump, and I can't tail swipe when I have the key. So you need to be somewhat judicious about when you pick it up and put it down. And I know how this works, but this switch here raises and lowers this. So this is how I can get it up there. And so pick it up, and I have completed step 1. However, the challenge is just begun.
There are other steps ahead.
There are other steps ahead. All right, so phase 2. We need to get another key all the way up there. And, a little
nice.
secret there. I have missed the U every playthrough. I miss at least one.
I think that's one thing that really rewards coming back and really digging into these spaces, because there are so many collectibles and so many little details. Even things where looking around the little kind of market space, it really is nice just to soak it in and take your time finding things in there. There's a good chance there'll be rewards that you didn't find the first time you passed through.
Right.
That's the whole idea. We have, like I said, up to 4 different pages that you can find. And if you want to keep, collecting coins and things like that, there's other rewards for that. You unlock costumes and some other fun stuff too, just by going above and beyond. But like I said, you could go straight through this level and just get 1 page for completion, and that's totally fine. We want you to invest as much time as you want into this, but we want to give you rewards when you do. And so if you get all 4 pages, you're well on your way to unlocking special costumes, but also making a lot of progress towards getting to the boss.
And I think one of the things that makes the game really special is when all of this comes together. You've got a game that offers a really fun level of challenge with some really intricate puzzles and really tightly tuned platforming. The platforming feels good and satisfying to play. At the same time, this is a great game that you can have fun playing with on the couch. You don't have to worry about chasing your kids out of the room. They can watch, and they might even find you collectibles that you didn't even notice when you're going through. So it's this really amazing family activity that you can share with everyone.
Right.
I think it is approachable. You know, if you see someone playing it, it's easy to go in and immediately get what's going on and immediately feel like, oh, I can contribute. Just like you said, like, hey, you missed it, you know, and that's like a classic thing that you can do to your friends, like, you missed it. I saw it, but you didn't see it, you know, and so it's a lot of fun, and it invites people to come in and comment and play with you, so I think it's really good at that. So we've collected all three. Here is their final concert. Oh, Lucky. Don't ever change.
They're so cute.
There it is, the Harvest Gem in full effect.
And so this is an area that really focuses on that tight platforming and puzzling. Other areas will have big boss fights. There's going to be a real interesting mix of experiences for players to enjoy. But overall, it's just this charming is the best word I can think of. It's an incredibly charming experience. Everything from the visuals to the music. Honestly, I've just found it such a joy to play.
Oh, that's the goal, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you're having fun making it, then you hope that kind of comes through and other people are having fun playing it. So this has just been so great for everybody to work on. The enthusiasm behind the team for this has just been stellar. Those are the people you want to work with, the ones that even if they get pulled off and maybe to another project, they still come back and they're like, hey, I have an idea for something, and that just kind of builds up, and then you end up with something really cool. So it's just fantastic to work with people like that.
It's, you know, the team is passionate, and we mentioned this before, and that word gets thrown around a lot, but it truly is, this whole game has been elevated by the entire team's commitment to trying to make it more joyful, more delightful. Like, if there's a rule for playful, there's a rule for this game. It is, I want you to give us your best ideas. You know, no idea is off the table, but I really want you to connect to what we're trying to do here, which is bring something delightful and enjoyable to as many players as possible, you know, on the best possible platform for this, which is the Switch. And I think our entire team connects with that goal so deeply that they're really unwilling to let it be just enough. So even as we speak, we're still cramming in things, you know, and then we need to stop, you know, like we need to, you know, really wrap it up. But it's because we're just not, we're not satisfied. We want more and more and more, and to have even a higher level of polish and a higher level of polish. And that's what this game means to us, and that's what this IP means to us. This is Lucky. This is our IP. This is our character, and we wanted to make the definitive edition for this, and we wanted to really this be our foot forward, especially on such a, I think, an audience that respects and really craves this type of entertainment, because we know we do, and that's the whole point here.
I think that the love that's been put into this really comes across so clearly when you check out this game, and your team has been working so hard on this. Is there much we can say at this point about when folks can look forward to playing the game, when it's going to be coming out?
We're looking to launch in the fall.
That's great. I can't
Fantastic.
wait. Yeah, the game just has a generosity and openness, a brightness. It's been a pleasure. I've been playing it a lot this week, and it's a pleasure to hear you guys talk about it. Pardon the pun, but it almost feels like you feel super lucky to have been able to make this version of it, and I know we feel lucky to when it comes out. So
I think in the time of the Wormhole Festival, a pun is appropriate.
We're under the umbrella of the festival, so it's all fair game for now. Yeah.
Tomorrow, after the festival's done, got to cut it off.
It's done. But no, I mean, I'm just so happy to hear you say that, and I really can't wait. I know we can't wait to share this with as many people as possible. This is, we crave this type of game, and we think it's just a very accessible, even down to the way we handle the moves, right? The moves are very simple to use, but they extend very well. So it is not that, you know, we really want you to be able to get extremely proficient, but then that proficiency lets you extend what's possible, lets you explore more, lets you find more secrets. And this type of game, we think, just benefits from being accessible just right from the get-go.
Yeah.
But then, do you want to test yourself? There's lots of secret areas and things to go in and really test your skills and push. And then when you're ready, like, okay, no, I'm done. I just want to finish this level. Then you can go do that too.
Yeah, and it feels good. Like you were doing the same thing I was doing as I play. When in between, I'm like, I need to get over there, but I'm still going to keep double jumping and burrowing on my way because it just feels so good. And I think the best platformers have that. No matter what you're doing, you're also just, the controls just have that sort of, they kind of hug you with the way they feel.
For all ages on there, whatever type. I'm a completionist, so I always want to go and find all the nooks and crannies. But if you, like Dan was saying, if you want to go through, you can breeze through it if you want to. And yeah, it's for all ages too,
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate Dan and Taylor, you spending your time with us to show us the game, show us this new content. Morgan as well, thanks for hanging out, and can't wait to see the game. So thank you. Looking forward to seeing how everything works out.
We really appreciate the opportunity, and we can't wait to share it with everybody.
All right, and folks watching, please stay tuned. In a little bit, we're going to come back with some more Super Mario Maker 2, and hopefully the power will stay on. See you in a bit. everybody. Welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3. I'm Sam, joined by my colleagues Morgan, Sam, second Sam from the Treehouse, and Teresa.
Hi, guys.
And we are back to show you a little bit more of Super Mario Maker 2. Last segment, we took a pretty good look at the Super Mario 3D World course style, had some fun in there. This time around, Morgan, you're going to show us some of the new stuff that's been added to jazz up the classic game styles.
Yeah, we're going to show off some of the other styles, some of the themes, and most importantly, there's 4 of us on stage, so that we're going to play this course 4-player local once we finishing it off. So right off the bat, I just wanted to show some. This is the original Super Mario Brothers style with some slopes. Already looks kind of crazy.
Yeah, yeah, brand new. And even like a squatting Mario sprite, a small Mario sprite, is something that's really interesting for this.
I get a little bit of momentum, and if I run, I can really get some speed going on these slopes. But you know, if you're going to be sliding down a hill, I think we need some snow.
Let's see it.
Oh, so
Hey.
pretty. So good.
Oh, I'm getting a little bit more slide. But I feel like butt sliding, especially icy butt sliding, is best done in Super Mario World style.
So that snow for this
Nice.
Super Mario Brothers theme is something that's newly added to the game. That design, all of that art is brand new.
That's right. So I'm going to go over here, and all I'm going to do is press down. I'm going to duck.
Pretty good.
Nice.
And that just feels good. No other inputs. I'm just sliding. And you can see where that on-off switch is, where I ended up my slide. So keep that in mind. Let's go back up to the top. But, you know, we've been playing with Mario all day. So what do you
Change it
guys
up?
think? Change it
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, I
go
would
for
say
it.
so.
Let's see someone else.
One of the neat things you can do is in settings is just change your character. So we've got Mario, Luigi, Toad, Toadette. You guys have a...
Let's go with Toadette.
Toadette.
Sounds good.
All right,
I'm in.
unanimous. And that's not going to change the physics of my of how I play. It's just going to change
Look at that
how I look.
adorable Super Mario World Toadette.
I know, isn't that cool?
So worth mentioning, this won't affect story mode. In story mode, you are Mario trying to rebuild the castle, but
right.
it is so cool that when you're here as a maker and then trying out the stuff that you've made, you have this extra variety, and getting to see how all these characters look in all the game styles is really fun.
That's exactly right. It is really fun. It just gives you a little extra, you know, good vibes. So I'm going to change it to night. And
Nice.
what that's going to do is, at night, in the snow theme, things get slipperier. So again, I'm going to
What's
do
up, new dog?
Yes.
Look at his name, buddy.
I'm
He's
gonna
so
do,
happy.
He is. He's just like, just flying by.
Don't mind me.
So I'm going to do that same thing I did again. Just press down. And pay attention to where I end up having slid to.
Perfect. It's almost like you planned it.
Yeah, maybe. But that just shows how you can, just by changing the tonight, suddenly
Right.
you've got this whole different mechanic at play. Which
And I
is,
like the twinkly Super Mario World
Lullaby?
music. Yeah.
so this is we're going to show this off on-off switches. This is the simplest application.
The on-off switch is an incredibly versatile course part, though. It's really interesting the variety of situations you can build up just using this one piece.
I'm going to need a way to trigger that one.
You almost had enough momentum to get up there.
Almost. Not quite. Actually, I maybe, but we're going to go with a way to trigger this on-off switch, which is pipe. We're going to need some way to trigger it. How about a Koopa? And you know what? Let's change the color of the pipe. So tap and hold.
And just see there are arrows on the different pipes. So besides this being a color choice, which can be cool if you're color coordinating a course, those arrows are actually representing how fast whatever you put in there is going to trigger.
That's exactly right. So let's go with red, which has the, oops.
And that's cool. That's new for Super Mario Maker 2. That variable wasn't something that you could control before.
Koopa Troopa Party!
Oh my God.
Yes!
Probably too many, so I'm going to go with blue, which is the slowest, and that'll give me one at a time. And let's go back over here, because I would actually have already turned that on, which means this one would be off. Wait for this guy. Get that going.
I don't know, he seems lonely. I feel like the red pipe, he had his whole family with him.
All right.
It was a beautiful
Nice.
thing.
So we're through there. All right. So what more on-off switches? Okay, I'm really obsessed with on-off switches, and I think a lot of people at home are going to be.
Yeah.
Made this section just to show how you can kind of add on-off switches to more of a sort of a speed run style.
Nice pacing.
Oh, you got that little pokey-looking snowman back there.
Yeah, that's one of the little background elements. So that felt great, but I want there to be a sort of a B route, an easier way that if someone doesn't want to do that, or when we're playing 4-player, I don't know that we'll be able to do all that at the same time.
We can try.
You're already anticipating the chaos that's about to happen.
So I'm just flipping through my menus here. What I'm looking for is this snake block. We're going to put one of those down here. Snake block starts off as 4 blocks. I can actually make it a little, let's make it a 6. How's that look?
That's
6?
good.
6 wide. And similar
I
to...
think it's a 7 wide now. Nice.
Well, 7's fine. So I'm going to make it go straight over here and then start winding its way up, kind of like a staircase over here.
But you could actually change the speed of this snake block if you wanted to, right?
That's true. Very good point. I could. It's green right now, so if I were to drop onto it in green, it starts moving. And if I tap, hold, blue. Oh, yeah, we're
Got a
cruising
motor.
now.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? We're going to be playing this 4-player.
With 4 people, that might be a little too challenging for us.
I mean,
go back to green.
the safest bet is green,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And I'm actually going to attach a sound effect to it as well. Let's bust out. So while we're riding it, let's put one of these. Let's put this Mario 64 music on. It matches my shirt, so
I love this
I'm gonna
part of the
attach-
customization. This is so fun.
I'm going to attach that to there. So when we get to that point, we should be jamming at that point.
Want to give it a test?
I'm gonna wait for that 4-player. I'm gonna take the high road again.
Oh, okay.
We'll do that on the 4 of us.
All right.
But we got a new part to show off.
Yeah.
All right. That is the swinging claw. You can see again, I cannot.
Oh, but you're still in night mode, so yeah, it's remarkably slippery.
It is. It really is. And I want to stay above that slipperiness, so I'm just going to jump, and these claws will just grab you. Jump out. You don't have to do anything to have it grab you. And then if I don't touch the stick, it just kind of hangs out there, unmoving. And then I can start to back and forth, build up some momentum, jump, jump. Ooh,
Nice.
Also, I can't believe you played 2D Mario with the stick.
I know. Well, I've been going back and forth. I've got this crazy Magic Koopa box so that I can use touch controls while we're streaming.
Right.
I could be also creating with the Pro Controller if I wanted to. Both work great. I'm just sort of in touch control mode right now. So these claws are great, but I don't know. Should we make this section harder? Right now, it's sort of bare bones.
Yeah, and you've really only shown off one of the things that the hanging claw can do.
Yeah.
We got some other possibilities.
Yeah. So let me zoom out really quick, too. I just clicked the right stick, and that allows me to sort of see at a glance. See, there's nothing else going on. It's kind of sparse. Let's add some enemies, because what happens when you add an enemy to a claw? Let's go with somebody simple right off the bat. How about a... Moles love snow, right?
Sure.
So that'll just hold on to the enemy until I get close enough. Woo!
It's like an evil claw machine game.
Yeah,
He has to deal with the slipperiness, too. Look at that.
And
He
he's
can't
just
turn
sliding around, too.
around. So that's a good first enemy. Let's actually embiggen him.
Nice.
I don't know. What do you guys think for the second claw?
We could do Boom Boom.
Maybe a power up in one of those, because you're going to need something at some point.
Okay, okay.
That is true.
Okay, we'll do Boom Boom. Big Boom Boom.
I think
Oh, yeah.
the power up was for us, not for Boom Boom.
Right.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. One more. How about Wiggler? Everybody like
All
Wiggler?
right,
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
know. Wiggler's the best.
Big Wiggler.
Big Wiggler.
With wings?
Why does
maybe?
everything
Sure.
have to be big?
Why not with wings?
I don't know what'll
All right.
happen.
Yeah.
He attaches by his head, which is nice. I like your guys' idea of giving us, let's give ourselves that, and let's give ourselves some fire flowers.
Somewhat of a fighting chance, I guess.
I think we'll be okay, and there'll be 4 of us. We'll be
I don't
fine.
know. Big Wiggler is worrisome.
What's interesting here is I think you're going to need to run under the enemies to trigger them so they drop out of the claws, and then you're going to have to backtrack to get back to that first one to swing your way up. So this is going to be really interesting,
Yeah,
unless
well-
you can get your height off of one of those enemies close to the wall.
Yeah, and we'll play with that. And you know what? Let's put it, since we're going to have to come all the way over to the right anyway, let's add a 10 coin over here. Actually, let's make it a 50 coin.
Ooh,
Why not?
Nice.
I've got another coin up here, and then I've got this icicle here. These icicles are awesome. They both aesthetically look great. This one is they're also dangerous, so you can, if I were to jump into this, it would not be good. You can also tap and hold those to change them to icicles that you can see that it's shaky, and if you get just close enough, it'll drop. and it'll respawn. And you can do so much with those. If you watch the Invitational, the final course, we got kind of obsessed with the icicles. You can stand on them. You can use them to kill Bowser. You can do all sorts of stuff. So icicles, yeah, not going to talk any more about them now, but
they're fun.
They're fantastic. And then one more thing I wanted to show off. So this is like a big deal, actually, for people that are really into making courses and aesthetic courses and courses with like rooms that feel well sealed off. So I've got this kind of gross area over to the right where I can see this pipe and this blank spot I forgot to fill in. So as long as I have actually let me pin that ground, tap and hold. So I've got this, as long as I have an unbroken line of ground from bottom to top, I'm going to make it too wide, even though I don't technically need to. Suddenly, when I drop back into this area, see how now it doesn't scroll over to the right?
Yeah.
It actually seals it off like it was a perfect sort of barrier there.
Now it's a clean end level.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
gives your courses that more professional look.
Oh, it's so nice. And if you make like doors that go into rooms, it'll sort of seal those off. It's fantastic.
It gives you a lot more control over all of the space you've got to work with in a course as well. What's nice there is really you're just building that full line perpendicular to the direction of movement. So if you were in a vertical sub area, something like this, it would be a single line of blocks just going all the way across the screen from left to right, and then you'd be able to accomplish the same goal.
Exactly. It's such a nice tool for creators and just to sort of put that polish that you want. So I've got this sub area that we're going to be playing through. It's very bare bones right now, and I'm still in the same theme. That's no fun. Let's get back down to the bottom.
Whee!
It's actually way more fun going down than it was climbing up.
The biggest slide ever.
So let's mix it up. So we're already in night. So let's see. Maybe we could do, let's see. What should we do first for night? We could do, one thing we could do is sky.
Looks so fluffy and cheerful now.
Sky is pretty fun because you get sort of this floaty
anti-gravity.
Half gravity.
Yeah.
Feels pretty good, but not quite the right course design for the sky. We could do...
Maybe go underwater?
We could do underwater. And remember, night is turned on each time I switch it. So this is water plus night equals... Ooh, now now we're getting somewhere.
And this is actually spooky. It's a setting I love because certain enemies and course parts actually serve as light sources.
Right.
So you can do some really interesting things if you go underwater at night and then place things that are going to be objects. Maybe you find them, you trigger them to get some light. You could actually make yourself a maze where there's tons of stuff around you, but you're not going to be able to tell, so you're going to try to find your path through the course as you go.
That's such a great point, Sam. So I'm going to go ahead and add just to show off what you were talking about.
Hey, little buddy.
You can see that that fireball, is actually going to create an extra...
I could see some really devious stuff happening with this setup.
I think it'll actually work better if I'm down there because you can... I want to show off how that kind of has its own light source. So you can imagine a level where maybe you're having to follow those. I don't know, very
fireball.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is actually something that works in the Ghost House style as well. So if you're in the Ghost House theme and you're in night, you're going to get this same really spooky darkness. You can do some really interesting stuff there.
It's true. There's there's so many combinations. I don't even know where people are going to start when it comes out, but yeah, just pick something that inspires you and go with it.
It would actually be really cute if you had Luigi as your maker. You could do like a Luigi's Mansion kind of thing where
I
suddenly
love that.
you make a spooky, dark Luigi spot.
So speaking of spooky, well, maybe not spooky, but fiery at least. We've got all that ice up top. So how about we actually switch to fire down here? Let's do the castle. And castle plus night is actually something I don't think anyone's ever seen yet.
No, I don't think so.
So
let's hit it.
Let's see what happens. So, okay, it's not castle, but okay.
What's happening here?
That's so cool.
So it's your standard castle, but I'm actually swimming, and I've got lava. And I actually want to show off how this looks in New Super U, just because of the way the lava looks.
I do love because we played with water levels in the forest theme in our last segment here. The little water level boat looks really angry when you're dealing with lava. Suddenly he's just not the happy little boat he was.
Oh yeah, look at him.
He is panicking.
That's right. I'm filling this whole chamber with lava.
What are you doing to us, Morgan?
It's going to be fine. Make it go faster. What do you think? Triple speed? Double speed?
Double speed?
Let's see maybe what triple speed looks like, but let's not leave it there.
What triple speed looks like? Okay.
For the sake of science, I'm curious, but I don't think I want to deal with triple speed.
Let's zip back down to the bottom. Okay,
We're going to be our
now,
own worst enemies here.
Okay.
All right, so I'm swimming. Got lava chasing me. That speed actually feels kind of okay.
The star
For,
in the
for a
background
single
looks so
player
peaceful.
and with no enemies.
Yeah, good point, good point.
Yeah, because
okay.
we will have collision against each other, so we're going to be bouncing around the walls a little
All right,
bit.
let's make it double speed. I appreciate you guys with the restraint. And we're going to go back to Super Mario World because that's how we want to play this final one. And yeah, let's fill up this chamber with some enemies and some coins, and then we can add a clear condition, and then we can play it 4-player.
Okay.
Perfect.
So what do you guys think?
Wiggler.
Oh,
Again?
man.
Always Wiggler.
It's kind of, he'll be swimming, though.
Wiggler
so
forever.
Let's
What
see.
about dry bones? Since it's kind
look
of
at that.
swimming.
He's not even swimming. I'm swimming. Oh, he's... Oh,
Oh,
okay,
he's
I
just
like
gonna
that.
walk.
crawling.
I
He's
like
trying to
that.
run for
He just
safety,
ignores
too.
it.
I like that.
He
Very
realizes
good.
what you've done to him and
I
where
heard,
he is, and he regrets
Teresa,
it.
did you say a dry bones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like a dry bones.
Oh, you just passed him. Next
Where
one.
are you, dry bones?
That one.
Put one right there. Right there. I'm going to add some more. What else? Anybody
Maybe
else got
some coins. We got to make this worth our while. We're going to suffer in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about some Magic Koopas?
Oh, no, that's too crazy.
What?
It causes so much
We can
chaos.
maybe have one Magic Koopa at
He'll
the
start
end.
taking apart the walls. I mean...
Let's have a Magic Koopa.
Okay, Magic Koopa.
Okay.
Sam's Magic Koopa.
Yeah.
You've seen what Magic Koopa does? An unchecked Magic Koopa?
So one of the things that's fun in the course creator that we're not going to show off here today, but just to talk about a little bit, folks, if you're
He's up
watching,
here.
if you take a look at the left side of
Thank
the
you.
screen, there's a little icon next to the Mario's Trail icon where you have two little kind of faces hanging out together.
Yep.
What we could do if we wanted to just kind of kick back and work on a course together is actually swap over to co-op gameplay. So if we did that, for example, each of us could take a Joy-Con and we could actually work together to build a course. This is something that I think especially is going to be fun for families who are introducing their kids maybe to Mario Maker for the first time. You could take turns, so maybe somebody wants to take control of coins, and it's like, okay, maybe I'm not ready to build my own course, but I like coins, so while you're building the course, I'm just going to put some coins here, or maybe somebody wants to focus on enemies, but it's so nice that you can work together and really kind of practice those communication skills and have a chance to build something that you can share together.
Totally.
That should be fine.
You were worried about Magic Koopa?
You know what? We're going to see what happens.
Okay.
All right, I think we're about ready to play this thing, but as mentioned, I think we'd like to add a course condition to it. So let's go back to the start.
And here what's nice is the conditions will populate based on what you've set in this course. So if we see it here, it's supported by what you've built.
Right.
Yep. Reach the goal without taking damage. That's definitely possible. Reach the goal without land. I don't think that's possible.
And you can only set these clear conditions if you don't have a checkpoint flag.
That's
Because
right.
otherwise it
That's
gets deactivated.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. So we've not added a checkpoint for that reason. And you can see if we change, so it knows how many enemies we play. So you could do, and we could make it, we have to defeat all 10 Koopa Troopas, or you could make it, you know, you can always make it all or some of, which is really nice. What do you guys think? We could do an enemy one. We could make it that we have to take out Matt. Oh, man. Or the
Well, you placed a lot of coins. How about we do the collect a certain amount of coins clear condition?
Let's see how many coins you placed. It should
You
give
can
us a
see,
count.
we could do reach the goal holding a shell as Fire Mario. That's
I'm
kind
not
of cool,
sure I
too.
want to get a
Yeah.
shell all the way
Challenging.
through that.
I do like that you could do it. Yeah, I don't either. Okay, so let's find the coins. And you can see it knows we've placed 155 coins. What are you guys comfortable with? Probably not getting all together. Maybe
Yeah.
Next round, 100 maybe?
100? Nice even
120. The
Oh, yeah,
number
that
of
sounds good.
stars in Super Mario 64.
Oh, I like
Okay.
it. Okay.
Nice shout out.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, we're going to hear that music in a moment.
That's
All right.
true.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and save this.
That's one of the other things I love about getting to see these new game styles and the night versions of the themes. There's some beautiful music that's been created
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And it feels like it captures the style of those original games, even though for some of the games that this game is pulling from, there wasn't a snow, there wasn't a desert. So the fact that they've created music that fits in so well is just really enjoyable to play. And some of the night themes are really relaxing, actually, when you
Yeah.
listen to the music.
It's
All right.
almost like getting DLC for a retro game when you get to see all this new art and all this new music for the original Super Mario Brothers.
That's right. So I went ahead and saved the edit we made. I've got it here loaded up, and we're going to go ahead and course spot, grab it, and then go over to the right. We've got this play together icon. Going to tap that and give us a second while we all
Sync in.
get our Pro controllers synced up.
All right.
Okay,
We
looks
might
like
have only...
synced in.
Did we get 3?
Oh, we only got 3.
I think we only got 3.
Oh, we can fix this.
Yeah.
Let's go back out.
Let's
Do
try
not-
this again.
Do not worry. Whoever's Mario can
Ooh,
go ahead
that
and
music's
Now, it looks
good.
like I am
hop
Mario.
us out.
All right, hop out of here. And actually, since this is your baby, Morgan, I'm going to let you
Okay,
take Mario,
I'll take
who I
Mario.
have here.
I love this
I
music.
think this looks like Toadette.
Looks like we got 4 of us
Here we
now.
are.
There we go.
Alright.
All right.
I
You
am
guys ready to
Toad.
roll?
Yeah, let's do this.
Thank you.
Should I do roll call? I'm Toad.
Three says Toad.
I think I'm Luigi. Yeah,
got
I'm
Toadette.
Luigi.
Okay.
All right,
You guys
cool.
wanna do some
Undo dog.
icy butt slide?
Bye-bye.
Oh, sorry.
Why are you jumping on my head,
no.
Joe?
Sorry.
I'm sliding here. All right, y'all, come on down.
And we've already got 20 coins. We're doing fantastic.
What did we set it at? 120. That's right.
All right, there we go.
Thank you.
Cool.
All right, so I feel like one of us should go deal with the
Oh, yeah.
Koopa situation.
Oh,
No.
So we don't crowd it.
Somebody get the shell moving.
okay.
Okay, Luigi, get the shells moving. Oh, I like it. Yes, safety first.
Oh,
No, I
sorry.
canceled.
All right, y'all.
All right,
wait.
let's try this again.
Wait, it's good. There we go.
Yeah, is everything fine? No, no, no.
Wait. Oh,
Well,
okay.
Toads are just going to watch the brothers here. It's all good. So, fancy say.
Okay, only one.
Luigi.
Oh, nice work.
here I come. All right, we're fine. We're
Oh,
fine.
sweet. I
Okay,
bubbled in.
we're going to have to take the party train. Hold
Okay.
on. Wait,
Oh,
no.
I started. Come on, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Why would you do this?
Sorry,
We'll never forget
Toad.
you.
Everybody remain
I'm sorry.
calm. Remain calm.
So we're still in the night
the
snow
snake-
theme. So this thing is really slippery.
Yeah, it has taken on the super slipperiness coefficient
This
of
is
the...
going to
Y'all
turn
are
into a
bouncing.
It's going up.
staircase.
It's going up. It's
Oh,
going
gosh.
Up.
No.
We're bouncing on my head.
No.
Okay.
I can't jump.
It's not my fault.
Now,
Your head's so
if you guys
bouncy.
remember, we added only a single fire flower in that. But let's see what happens when we have 4 of us and we only have
Oh,
a...
I triggered it.
What?
Sorry.
Oh,
Grab
God.
One for everybody. Don't get
Launch is
greedy now.
coming.
Don't get greedy now.
Okay, I'm leaving the other 2 there.
Okay. Go,
Oh.
Mario.
Yes.
What is
Yay.
the boss when she's got the fire flower?
Yeah.
Teamwork. All right.
All right, getting boom boom
Somebody
down.
release the boom.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Release the wiggler.
Guys.
No.
No. Oh, my gosh. All right.
I'm gonna take the
tiny.
safe
I'm going
route.
to stay here. Good luck, guys.
I'm working on him. Oh, you got the wiggler down too.
Sorry.
Why?
I'm going to keep going. I'll see you guys
All right,
later.
y'all better get up there.
We-
Oh, thank you for getting that coin.
Yes.
Watch out for the spike.
Oh, dang.
Come here, wiggler. No.
I forgot you changed that to one of the ones that
Wait, wait.
drops on you.
I made
Are
it.
we leaving Toadette?
There we go.
Nice.
No, I'm here. I'm good.
Let's go. Let's go.
And just one of us could made it, have went down the pipe and bubbled the others, but that's no
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
We all made it.
Oh, no.
Somebody,
It's the
Luigi.
death wiggler.
Morgan.
Hey, listen. Everything's fine. There's 4 of us.
Sorry,
I
I think that was my fault.
Okay. Let's swim.
I'm
Keep going.
tiny and vulnerable. Somebody go ahead of me.
Okay, I've still got
trying.
a little bit of strength
and
going.
the fact that-
Bye, buddy.
The fact that we just got that flag actually shows that we have cleared the clear condition.
All right.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I feel like we
Look what you did, Morgan.
This is all
Dang
your
it,
fault,
I got
sir.
killed by my own Magic Koopa.
All right.
Oh, not again.
Keep going,
no,
keep going.
I'm trying to stay away from that guy. Oh, he killed him.
Careful, careful.
No.
I love you all, but I'm leaving you behind. Sorry.
We
Get outta
definitely
here.
could have set lava. For the record, Sam, we could have set the lava
You're right,
to level
you're right.
3. All right, so I feel like big finish. Maybe we could all line up, get a little spacing, and maybe do one
Okay.
last,
All right, take
one
turns.
last slide
Let's go.
together. Everybody line
go.
up on this part. Wait,
Okay.
no. Give a little space. Give a little
Okay.
space.
All right.
Got to get on the slope, though.
All right.
Oh, hold
Come on,
on.
Toad.
They're good?
Okay, on 3, duck down. 1, 2, 3. Yeah!
Wee!
Nice finish, guys.
Nice
Magic
work.
was not
Yeah.
as bad as I thought it would be. That was all
We
right.
could have probably made it even more dangerous than we
That's
did.
true. That's true.
We got time after this is done. We can steal the system and go
Oh,
elsewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah,
working.
this is
Fair
all
enough.
I'm going to be doing when the game comes out, which is like in barely over 2 weeks.
Yeah,
This game will be
28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in your hands if you so desire. So.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait.
Unfortunately, that's about all the time we have to torture ourselves by making this course harder right now. Teresa, Sam, Morgan, thanks so much for coming up and hanging out. Folks watching, thanks for tuning in. Please don't go anywhere. We are going to be checking out some Elder Scrolls Blades next. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse Live here at E3 2019. I am Demetrius, and I'm joined by Tyler with the Publisher and Developer Relationship team at Nintendo, along with two very special guests from Bethesda. We have Craig and Matt. Craig and Matt, why don't you say hi?
How you doing? I'm Craig Lafferty.
All right. And now we're here to talk about the Elder Scrolls Blades. So why don't we go ahead and get started?
Definitely. So Blades is it's a classic dungeon crawler reimagined. It's all about the moment-to-moment gameplay of playing through a dungeon, finding enemies, one-on-one with the enemies, finding secrets, getting loot, and ultimately finding the boss or the exit to the dungeon, finding your way out, and then going back to town and sort of use everything you've got to level up your player, level up your town, and then keep exploring and keep going through the story.
Right on. Excellent. And then now you said you're a member of the Blades, correct?
Correct. So your character, when you start the game, you're one of the Blades. You've been forced into exile, so you're on the run, and you return to your hometown to find it just basically destroyed. And so you need to figure out why it's destroyed, what happened, and then work to rebuild it. Okay.
So I see that we're going through this dungeon here, and one thing I think we haven't even noticed, most people might notice, we have like a little blue arrow here kind of guiding us along, kind of just giving us an example of what we can do, correct?
Right, so that's the clairvoyance is what it's called, and that actually guides you through the dungeon. So to help give people a general sort of an idea of where to go ultimately for your goal. That doesn't tell you the secrets or where the other stuff is to explore, but it guides you towards the ultimate exit.
Awesome.
And then you can see here Matt's actually, so he just fought one of the skeevers and took him out pretty fast. But we spent a lot of time on the moment-to-moment gameplay. We want to make sure that the sword gameplay and the combat felt good, because if that's not fun, the rest of the game, it's not as big of not as important if the core moment doesn't feel good.
Most definitely. And in regards to combat, with now the controller support on the Nintendo Switch, could you go into a little more on how that came to be?
Yeah, so when we designed the game from the start, we had the Switch in mind and how the controls would translate over to the Switch. So you can see here, when he swings, the right Joy-Con is your right hand, and you can swing with the right and left hand. So you can sort of swing back and forth. It's pretty easy to pick up, but difficult to master. So initially, you can just swing left or right with the sword, but you'll notice the circle. It's actually the timing of that is key. If you let go at the peak of the circle, you get a crit, and you feel the feedback in the Joy-Con, and you do more damage.
I feel that when I started getting through it and I started getting better at the criticals, it just feels so good when you have that response from the HD rumble and the Joy-Cons and seeing that flash. It's like it just really connects well.
Yeah, it feels great. And then you could basically get like basic combat left to right, but then you get crits going, you get combos going. You can actually hold down the trigger and control where you aim. So the combat starts off easy, but there's actually a ton of depth to actually master.
And I was seeing Matt doing some, I believe it's called perfect guards there. It looked like you're timing that really well and blocking some of the damage and staggering the enemy. So really well done there.
If you time it just right, you can do criticals which do a ton more damage. And then if you can chain them together, you'll get combos that really, really helps you out. Yeah. On top of that, I started using some of the spells. So once you sort of master using the sword and shield to play regular combat, you can add in spells and maneuvers. There's a ton of stuff here you can customize, just like playing a regular Elder Scrolls game.
It's so good.
Is that a block of cheese?
It was.
Yeah.
Cheese is very important in this game. It heals you up. You always want to be looking out for food when you're in a dungeon because your health is really limited, and that's a key way to get through a dungeon and survive.
All right, dungeon cheese.
Now, right now we're kind of going through just a dungeon, but Craig, we have 3 different main modes, correct?
Correct. So there's the dungeon mode, there's the story mode where you sort of rebuild your town and go through, figure out the story, why it was destroyed and what happened, who the bad guy is. There's also an abyss mode, which is sort of an endless dungeon runner where it's how far can you get each time. You can pick the level you want to start on and see how far you get and what rewards you can get. And then this fall we're adding the arena mode, which is a whole new mode that adds PvP, it adds guilds, it adds the ability to visit your friends' towns, see what they have, see what decorations they have, where they got their decorations. You can also chat with your fellow guild members and take them on in combat. You can challenge them to one-on-one combat.
Which I think we have at Gentlemen's.
Yes.
As much as you want to call it Gentlemen's, we're just talking trash to each other because you're going down. So
no, you're going down. But first, I'm going to go visit your town. I'm going to see what you got, and I might ask you if I could borrow a cup of lumber.
No.
Come on, man.
So this one, you can see with the controls, one of the things with that, we spent a lot of time on the controls initially with prototyping it out. We actually had several different prototypes at the beginning because we wanted it to feel good, feel like you're swinging the sword. Initially, we prototyped one. We had just basically geometric shapes on the screen that you would swing at. we had a prototype where you actually had the sword attached to your arm, and you would actually swing it outright. And then we sort of ultimately settled on this because it gives us the best feel for, you feel like you're swinging. You can get the combos and the crits, but it also supports, you can do, Matt has a sword and shield. You can do daggers, which are really fast, and you could also do two-handed weapons. So it supports all three of those.
It's pretty awesome. And I noticed that you have the Necromancer. They look a little different from the other Necromancers. So
yeah, he poisoned me there for a second. He's a much more difficult enemy.
Oh, is that a switch right there? I think you're gonna go for that.
Oh yeah,
that lever.
It's a switch.
Usually through these stages, I like in the beginning, it tells you that how many secrets are there to potentially find.
Correct.
And I like to scratch walls to see if I can find any levers or anything to pull to unlock secrets.
Yeah, so this one you can see the clairvoyance went off in the other way, but you found the lever. You go in here and we'll see if Matt can find a secret.
And one thing too to note about these type of enemies, these skeevers, that you have to hit them as they're coming towards you. You can't just, you have to like actually time your hit, so he's doing really well with that.
Yeah, timing's very important in this game because some enemies are kind of ranged like that, and others you want to do the criticals or get the perfect, swing against them.
And it's good to see enemy variation.
Could this be the secret? Yes, it is. And we found the secret.
Secret.
So there's a lot of enemy types. So there's the skeevers. You can initially fight them one-on-one. After a while, you can have 2 or 3 of them that come after you. There's other different types of enemies. They all have different spells and abilities. So part of it is when you go back to town, you build up your town. You can build a blacksmith, and you can customize your weapon. You can enchant it. And so you make sure you have the right resistances or the right gear and armor to take on the different creatures in the dungeons as you go along. So it gets more and more complex. But so the combat is still this sort of the core basic combat, but it really gets more complex with the abilities and the back and forth in the combat.
And that's great. Like I personally am a sucker for like enchantments and all that stuff. I always like to try to put my own personality into a character, especially when I know you can create your own character like this in this game. So awesome news. Always cool to see. Nice shield bash.
Yeah, no, I do like that. Even though you might get really cool armor that you think looks great, you can't just, you could just go into any stage with that, but it really helps when you have your different abilities and spells that you equip to make that either adaptable for a stage or a different playing experience, but still look as cool as you want to, right?
Mm-hmm. And here we're seeing a boss at the end of the dungeon. He's going to be a much more difficult combat.
Had a swag walk to him, too.
He had a nice appearance there.
Yeah.
Maybe use your Blizzard spell.
Oof. It's a tough one, though, yeah.
And the one thing we're not showing here, but we also have motion controls in the final game this fall as well.
I saw that in the showcase.
Yeah,
It seems like you can really hold your sword and your shield.
Yeah, so it feels like each hand is almost your sword and your shield. So the left one you can hold up and do a block or a bash. The right one to swing the sword. So it really feels great with the motion controls.
We're definitely looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Just we'll just be in the office and.
I need a safe space now. Swing everywhere.
And that guy we rescued, he's the blacksmith, so he's going to go back to town and he'll improve weapons for you.
Excellent.
All right.
So that's a look at the first dungeon, correct?
Yeah.
Wait, but you got to break that pot. I'm like OCD. I have to like break everything open. Oh, there's one left. Oh, okay, good.
Did you rescue the first person?
Yeah, going through this dungeon, you want to pick up all these things because they're part of the crafting system. So you can make, weapons, armor, potions, all that stuff back in town with all these ingredients.
Switch this.
Switch to the next one.
Yeah, so if we switch to the other one, we can show you another dungeon type. We had an Iliad Ruin dungeon.
Yeah, so we have the Iliad Ruins. They are an area that we haven't shown since Oblivion. If we go back into our lore, the ancient elves are a main part of this quest, and they're kind of the main bad guys of the game. So you're kind of delving into a different area and showing off a lot of what the Elder Scrolls has with all these different locations you can go to.
That's super cool. All right.
Let's dive right into
those. So we're going to dive right into it. Here we go.
So you can see immediately this looks, completely different. It's going to have different types of enemies and just a whole new feel.
Great art direction, too, I must say. I'm always a sucker for Elvish runes.
You like the particle effects.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to move through this door. All right, so we did kind of discuss we just rescued that blacksmith, and that's part of building your town, which we were saying earlier, correct? All right,
correct.
Cool.
So yeah, so as you go along, as you rescue people, so the blacksmith is now free. He goes back to town. You can rebuild the blacksmith, and then he's able to repair your weapons afterwards and enhance and improve them for you. And as you upgrade the blacksmith, he can do better weapons and more gear and the higher level stuff. And then as you play through, you rescue an enchanter. You can do jewelry. You can brew potions, and then more and more people, as your town gets bigger, more and more people start coming to your town, and that gives you more quests and more things to do.
I think I'm noticing with we're fighting another mercenary. Each mercenary looks very different from the last one. I noticed a difference in races and, of course, loadouts, which I think is really awesome that you can really see the world and the lore of the Elder Scrolls here and see what you can potentially work up to and customize. Could you go into maybe customization a little bit?
Absolutely. In this game, you can play every race that's in the Elder Scrolls universe, and you can play male, female, and all these armors are in the game. We went through everything we've done in the past and brought it back in a whole new way for blades. And you can, collect all different types of weapons and artifacts. There's tons of customization.
It's pretty awesome. There's so many things to choose from and work up to. So if I went to go and visit Demetrius and see what he has, it's kind of incentive for me to find how I can get that on mine as well, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
I have all the good stuff. All the good stuff.
I'm coming for it.
I just got to remember to repair. I'm the worst person at repairing. I'm terrible. I should have my hands slapped for it.
I also noticed over here these books are, glowing, so maybe that leads to something interesting. Let's look around. Did we find anything?
Ooh. More secrets. Who doesn't like secrets?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, in here. So here's one of those undead.
Oh, snap.
I opened up a secret area, and he came out. He's defending all the loot.
Why did I have to think about the books?
I never looked at that book before. I know.
Well, I got to scratch walls a bit harder now.
You took that guy out really fast. That was great.
Good combos, but I realized that the secrets are pretty integral in any stage, so it's nice that you can go through a stage, but with your secrets, you're going to find a lot more cool stuff that you wouldn't otherwise, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
And so as you go through the dungeon, you find the different things you need to upgrade your weapons, to brew potions, to enchant them, and then that'll play key into the PvP, because when you go to PvP, you're not sure what the other guy's going to have. What weapons is he going to have? What resistance is he going to have? And the PvP is almost like a fighting game where you have 3 rounds and you fight the guy. So you can equip your character and use your spells and abilities, and then you see what he has, and then between rounds you can swap them out. And so you can see, it gives you a really good opportunity to show off all the stuff you've collected, how awesome your character looks, if you tricked it out with dragon armor, what you've done, and what other people have as well.
Oh, dragon armor.
Yeah.
But I do like that. There's really motivation for having the players explore each dungeon, that although you have the clairvoyance to guide you, there are times I've gotten lost. But that's because I do like to scratch walls.
And then the really good thing is, so it's out on mobile now, but when it comes on Switch, all your progress will carry over. So it's cross-play and cross-progression with the other version. So you'll be able to pick up where you left off, as well as fight people on all the different systems with it as well.
So Demetrius and I start training on that, and once we have it this fall, we're ready with our Switch, our Nintendo Switches and our Joy-Con controllers to duke it out, right?
Yeah, totally. I'm 100% in on this. I love all the Elder Scrolls games. I'm always playing these. Super, super fun.
Yeah, so we just did a really big update. We added the Dragon Slayer quest line. We added the jewelry system. We added new jobs and new solo arena jobs. And then there's so much lore we can pull from. So we'll be adding a lot of that Elder Scrolls stuff to the game as we go.
We're definitely looking forward to that.
Man, there's a lot of people down here. Just thinking.
There's a lot of jobs. So the main game has has the quest where you're going through trying to figure out how to rebuild your town. It's a quest you follow through. There's also a job system that you can do to get the loot you need. And there's all sorts of different challenges in the jobs, to collect things or to fight people one-on-one in a solo arena battle, to rescue people. And those are sort of like things you can do on the side when you're also doing the main quest to build up your town.
In the beginning, was there a discussion for, well, how many races or how many types of armor do we want to include? And eventually you just kind of went to, let's just do all of it?
Well, we knew right away we wanted to have all the races in the game. It can't be an Elder Scrolls game if you can't play who you want to play. And then we put as much armor as we possibly could into it.
Yeah, there's a lot in this.
There's definitely a lot. It's pretty awesome.
It's a big game.
Okay. I think we cleared. Oh, I was just about to say, I think we cleared out some of the enemies.
Like when you think you're at the end.
Cue the other mercenary showing up.
You can see this is progressively harder than the last stage that we were going through.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kind of like enthralled because I got to work on my game on this because I'm seeing all these like perfect hits and combos.
That's when you got to get good.
I know.
You got to make sure your combos and your crits are up, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So see, he's a little bit lost there, so the clairvoyance helps you find your way through the dungeon.
There we go. The golden door.
Yeah. But if you explore off the path and don't follow clairvoyance, that's where you're going to find the secrets, the extra loot. That's what you really need to do to progress.
Mm-hmm.
It's very exciting to see all of the cool things from the world of the Elder Scrolls right here.
Oh man, okay, so these mercenaries are tough. I'm just trying to see how you could time your blocks perfect. Oh, there we go, a good combo right there too.
Yeah, combos are really, really great.
So notice also when you can, you were talking about how you can not just have a regular swing, but it goes from, you can have a higher or lower in positioning of your weapon.
Yeah, so you can use the right stick. You see how I'm kind of raising and lowering, and I'm going to try and aim for a better swing on him.
It's really important, like when you fight the Skeever, since they jump up, you can actually determine if you want to swing high or low and aim, and that's really important to the timing of hitting them.
You saw a critical combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like half health right there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I really do like when I started getting those crits. Just the feel with the controller and the rumble.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think we just completed that dungeon.
There you go. And you found the secret.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we did is we got to show you a chance at, or take a look at 2 dungeons. Anything else you guys would like to discuss?
No, I think that's everything. Like I said, it's cross-play and cross-progression with the mobile versions. So we're really looking forward to it coming out this fall on the Switch and getting people's feedback.
Great. Okay. Well, everyone, just like to say thank you very, very much for watching. This is going to be the end of the day for us today, but we will be back tomorrow for an indie day. So look forward to that, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. This is us signing out.
The calendar in this game. It determines when you take part in special battles, when you can do additional training opportunities, when people's birthdays are, special holidays, tournaments, all kinds of things. So you really want to keep an eye on the calendar. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump into this battle.
Oh, there they are.
There are the merchants. Oh, they're in a load of trouble because that guy doesn't look friendly.
Oh, yeah, not at all.
Looks like they are.
So my group starts up split up, and as you may have seen, the objective here is to defeat the commander.
Merchants could probably escape.
And obviously protect the merchants. That's pretty important.
So you're employing proper flanking maneuvers, which is already... It looks pretty good.
Yes, yes. And that's why I'm really happy that I made Linhardt a Cavalier here, because that gives me a lot of movement at my disposal, and I really want to be able to get over to this drawbridge over here. Ooh. So first I'm going to use a combat art, then I'll get over to that drawbridge. Yeah. Combat arts are returning. You might remember them from Shadows of Valentia, and there are a bunch of new ones in this game as well. So I'm going to go ahead and unleash one. They're very powerful, of course, but they also do lower your weapon durability very quickly. So you can't just spam the combat arts. You have to be very strategic about how you use them.
That is very good to point out.
Oh, he lost a lot of health there. We might get to see
some reinforcements.
Linny die.
Oh,
we'll see what happens. Oh, no. And because he is a mounted unit, he can move again after attacking. So I can just kind of scoot him away from those enemies, perhaps.
Stay focused.
Teacher to the rescue.
Yes. Hands off my students.
I do love like these battle sequences that it's not just between the opponent and your character. There's like action and battle happening, so it adds that immersion to what's happening on the field.
Absolutely. And there's my archer. It's always important to have a good archer on your team. And Ignatz is the best in the business. All right. So I think Linhardt's covered pretty well. He looks like he's going to be safe, so I can go ahead and start scooting Hubert and Bernie. over this way.
She made it out of her room.
She
again.
did.
I'm so proud of her.
I'm forcing her out of her room. But well, what I'm trying to do with Linhardt is to move him over to this drawbridge, because if I lower that drawbridge, then I can get these merchants away from this really mean-looking giant wolf over here.
Wow.
He's gonna scoot his way closer and closer to them, and I don't want that to happen. So let's do our best to prevent that. Meanwhile, while we're doing that over on the left side, here on the right side, I'm gonna try and inch closer to the commander so that we can maybe take him down before he causes any more mischief.
Start laying down their forces.
Yes. And so I like to watch all of the battle animations because they're really beautiful, and as you can see, they actually zoom in on where you are on the map. It doesn't just take you to kind of a generic location, which is really cool, but for the sake of time, I'm going to try and force myself to skip the animations. It's painful, but I'll go ahead and try and do that.
Well, the folks at home, luckily this game is going to come out soon, so the folks at home will be able to experience this on their own and get through meet all these characters, experience all these battles, and dictate how they want to play.
I do like Audrey's point, the camera zooms in when you engage an enemy, and the 3D environments of the map. I like the fact that you can adjust the camera angle too. Like if you like the overhead view like traditional Fire Emblem, or if you want to like explore the environment a little bit, make it a little bit more scenic.
Yeah, that's something that's always been a real great thing about the Fire Emblem series, is that you can customize your battle to your heart's content. You can decide to skip animations, turn them on, off, all kinds of things. So like I said, I love just watching all of those things, but you really don't have to if you'd rather just get right to it.
Yeah.
Good job, Hubert.
Well done.
Let's see. I think that's the best we can do. Oh, look at that. That actually unleashed a gambit. So as you can see, those guys behind Bernadetta, those are her battalion who I've assigned to her. And because I've assigned them to her, she was able to use their gambits, which did her really well here. Was able to defeat that enemy.
Yeah, so she got a crit in that one too.
And it never would have happened if she hadn't left her room. So proud. Yes, another gambit.
Nice. Wow.
We might just save these merchants after all. And I leveled up.
Such power. Truly amazing.
If I don't say so myself, truly amazing.
Yes. Indeed.
Huh? It worked out.
All right. The path is clear now. And using my brand new Cavalier, I was able to get over to this bridge and lower it for those merchants.
So they can run away from that massive wolf, which we haven't actually just mentioned yet, but it covers like 4 spaces on the map.
Right.